What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the UGR, which is the new Black Ops Cold War SMG. It's been out for like probably 4 or 5 days at this point. It's kind of an interesting weapon. It has explosive darts that you can attach in the magazine slot. Unfortunately, it only gets a 36 round mag with that, but this gun's really interesting because on paper it doesn't look that good, but everyone agrees that it feels great in practice. I sent out a tweet earlier about that, and JGod and Maverick both completely agreed. It's really, really weird, actually. I'm not sure what's going on. I've done a bunch of investigating to make sure there's no weird things happening with this, because it feels like it kills way, way faster than it actually does on the TTK charts. But as always, if you guys like the content, be sure to drop a like and a comment on the video. And if you want to see more of my content, don't forget to subscribe. But let's jump into it and we'll talk about the UGR. So this is the base damage profile. We've got 53 to the head, 38 neck, chest, and stomach, and then all extremities are 34. And that is out to 11 meters. Then from 11 to 16 meters, it's 47, 34 neck, chest, stomach, and then 30 extremities. And then 16 meters plus, it's 40 to the head, 29 neck, 29 chest, 29 stomach, and then 26 to all the extremities. So if you look at this ammunition, they're called explosive flechettes, I think is how it's pronounced. You can see on TGD it says in the details that they're explosive bullets, and they do 8 splash damage if you miss your target within 0.5 meters. So I'll put a screenshot on the screen right now while I'm talking about this. Basically, if you hit anywhere around the target within roughly half a meter of the target's hitbox, you'll do 8 damage. That's splash damage to the target. This is kind of interesting and might be the thing that's leading to this gun feeling really good. It could also just be that these explosive bullets are really disorienting for the target. I don't really know what's going on. I was not able to find anything out of the ordinary when I was testing damages. These explosive rounds don't actually change the damage profile at all. All they do is add that, they add a little bit of range, a little bit of ADS time, and they give you 6 extra bullets, and they do that 8 splash damage. And you can see against EOD, I have that attachment here as well, just so you guys can see this. Against EOD, if the target has the perk 1 EOD, it only does 4 splash damage if you hit within 4 meters or half a meter of the target. And then if you attach this, you'll see that if you're shooting someone that has EOD, it does dramatically less damage. It almost cuts the damage in half. It goes from 53, 38, 38, 38, 34 to 29, 20, 18. Like it just does no damage to people with EOD. So that's kind of unfortunate. I think they'll probably maybe change this. It seems a little bit overkill to me. I don't know why the damage is reduced so much against somebody with EOD. You should still be able to have a chance. And if they see you at all, you're going to die using this gun against somebody with EOD. Something else worth noting is that this gun does have an open bolt delay. So if you don't know what that is, that's the time from when you pull the trigger to when the bullet is fired. Some have an open bolt design in real life, and they try to match that in game. So there's 50 milliseconds of delay from when you pull the trigger to when the gun actually fires in game. That's an estimate because it's really hard to get exact numbers, just because, you know, this is a very fast measurement, and it requires me to actually like take a video of myself clicking. And then obviously there's some error in there, but it's around 50 milliseconds, which is pretty significant in the SMG range. So I'm going to build that out. I've got like the meta build here. So it's just the explosive rounds, Grew Suppressor, Task Force Barrel, Tiger Team Spotlight, and then the KGB Skeletal stock, which is basically the Raider stock. So it gives you better ADS strafe speed, makes your hip fire worse, and makes your sprint to fire time much better. And because this has an open bolt delay, we really want to get that sprint to fire down as much as possible, because if you think about it, sprint to fire time kind of includes open bolt delay in actual practice, because if the bullet won't come out of your gun for an extra 50 milliseconds, then that's kind of stacked on top of your sprint to fire time. So it's important to get the sprint to fire time down, especially when you have an open bolt delay. So let's add like a meta Owen gun on here. So we'll get the Owen, and we'll put, let me close this, put the 8mm rounds, and then hollow point, and then recoil booster. So that should give us the final TTK, like the best build for this. And you're going to see that looking at this on combination shots, the Owen is the magenta and the UGR is orange. The UGR just gets destroyed by the Owen. And that's really strange to me, because in practice, I mean, this is huge. This is from 750 milliseconds down to 580. I mean, that's a huge difference. But in practice, the UGR feels like it kills people really, really quickly. So I think it's actually a decent gun. It's really low recoil. It has good mobility, great ADS times, great strafe speeds. Overall, it's a pretty solid gun. I just don't think that the stats line up with how it actually feels for some reason. It does not feel this much worse than the Owen gun, and I don't know why that is. Um, it could simply be that when you're missing, you're getting some of that splash damage, and that's something that we've never had before. And it seems like it wouldn't be that, because half a meter is not very far, and how often are you shooting something that's not your target that's half a meter from your target, unless you're literally shooting at their feet? I just don't think that this is going to come into play that much, or it shouldn't. I did all kinds of tests to try to validate that splash damage wasn't actually happening and like reducing that TTK, and I couldn't find anything funky at all. So I don't know what's going on, but this is one of the very few guns that I would say feels dramatically better than it actually looks like it would perform on paper. It also has pretty good iron sights, which is a nice benefit that basically gives you an extra attachment slot. Since it's not a Vanguard gun, it's a Black Ops Cold War gun, you only get 5 attachment slots. So anytime you can not use an optic is great. So yeah, that's really nice. Overall, it's a pretty good gun. It just, for some reason, doesn't look like it has good time to kill, but in practice feels like it does. And I'm not somebody that usually would say that kind of thing, because I usually like to use quantifiable things to make my decisions. But in this case, it actually feels really good. I think it'll be a decent sniper support and a decent regular SMG. The explosive rounds are extremely like disorienting for your target because they're super, super loud. It just makes it so they can't hear anything. And it's very low recoil. I've gone over all the stats, but yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's really weird. It feels great, but on paper, it doesn't look very good. Something else I wanted to cover real fast. It does have a muzzle attachment that makes it a burst fire weapon. So I wanted to, compare that and see if you could actually get better time to kills with that. But it turns out that you can't. So I measured the frames at each shot for the burst, and then calculated the total frames, and then calculated the total time to get to those frames, because it's 240 FPS recording, compared to how many milliseconds it takes to, I guess these are seconds, not milliseconds, how many seconds it takes to shoot normally to get to that number of bullets. So for the first 3 shots, the first initial burst, the burst is slightly faster. A negative number indicates that it got those shots off faster, so it only took 0.15 seconds to shoot the first 3 bullets with the burst, but it takes 0.2 seconds to shoot the first 3 bullets with the regular 600 RPM. But then after that, you can see that every other case, after the first 3 shots, the regular 600 RPM is going to kill faster, so it's not worth using the burst muzzle at all. If you take 10 shots to kill somebody, it's almost a half a second slower to get those 10 shots off with the burst muzzle than it is just with the regular gun, so completely not worth using the burst muzzle. But yeah, for recommended build, it's pretty standard for a Black Ops Cold War SMG. Just GRU suppressor, explosive rounds, task force barrel for extra range, strafe speed, and bullet velocity. Tiger Team Spotlight for movement speed. Tiger Team's unique, and then it gives extra movement speed for every single type of movement speed. That's why it's better than the Bruiser Grip, because the Bruiser Grip, I believe, I can't remember which one it doesn't have, but there's one that it doesn't actually increase compared to the Tiger Team, so that's why we always recommend the Tiger Team. And then I talked about the KGB skeletal stock as well. If you wanted to build this more for sniper support, you might want to put an optic on it. But really, the recoil is so low on this thing that I think that you could almost run it like this SMG build as a sniper support, just because there's really not a whole lot else you would change besides maybe taking off the Tiger Team and putting on a Field Agent foregrip. That's pretty much the only thing I would change just to get better recoil. But like I said, the recoil is not too bad. But anyway, that's all I wanted to cover. Just a really quick video for you guys today. I don't know what to say about this gun because it's not very good on paper, but it feels good. I've said that like 15 times in this video, but yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. Hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.